Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. Here we are on May 22nd, I think it is, somewhere down there. I'll put it in the title, or in the description anyway. Anyway, down over here checking on the girls. I got a request that I hadn't shown them in a while, and everybody was wondering how they were doing, so here they are. I'll come over to see what I got for them. And I did pick up a bag of greens for them, so let's see if they want some of those. Oh, look at that. There's a nice chunk. All right. We'll take it over here to the trap door and toss it in. There we go. Yep, that's what they wanted. So anyway, covering the girls, and the reason I haven't been posting anything in the last couple of days is because of weather. We've been having hellacious, I think that's the word, hellacious winds. And I mean, talk about winds. 30 to 40 miles an hour, sometimes dropping down into the 20s, but really, really blowing. I mean, ridiculous blowing of winds, constant. I saw 900 watts plus on my wind turbine out of the winds we were having here. So, and I was running about 63, 64 amps of power. And I had more than I needed. I had to turn stuff on that I didn't need to use just to burn up electricity because I haven't got my water heater connected to the dump load system yet. The winds have died down a little bit now, and the rains came again today. And I'm not complaining about rains. As you can see, my water barrel up there is almost filled up again. And that was down to 1/4 of a barrel because I had transferred that down to this barrel. And this barrel's half empty because the last time I used it, I forgot to connect the hose. You'll remember that in one of my videos, that I forgot to connect the hose back up. I had it laying on the ground and it was siphoning out. So anyway, I also had a question and concern about the winds that we were having, whether it was going to cause any problem with the plants. Well, as you can see, no, it didn't cause any problems, and that's because I did end up getting the sunshade on this wall here, which the direction the wind comes from, and it did block most of the wind. So you can see my pears looking pretty happy here. There's only like 2 pears on this tree right now. But if I get 2 out of it, I'll be happy for this year. And then next year, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be seeing apples and more pears and peaches. And definitely grapes. I'm going to definitely have grapes. So that's going to be a good one. And I'll be able to make some preserves and make some wine. And have some table grapes. All right. So as you can see, everything's looking healthy here. Here's the husky cherries, and there's a lot of cherries in there. I've got to get some of my little plant clips, and I'll clip these other branches that are hanging off the side here up onto the wire, so it'll give them some support. But the ground right now is pretty soaked, and I mean really soaked. If I dig into this, you can see it is really wet down in there. So it's drenched. I won't have to water for a while. So not only did I get water back in my rain barrels, but I got my garden watered for free. So down here you can see my pole bean starting to climb up that board support right there. And my cucumber here, let me give it a rest up there so that it can reach its feeler out and grab onto this trellis. And the other tomatoes, and my tangerine tree hasn't shown any fruit set on it, but it's a little too small yet. It's got to build up its strength a little bit before it starts putting fruit out. But the fact that it's full of leaves, that's a good thing. And as you can see, the corn is all doing really well there. That tomato plant over there is growing like a monster from heck. So I'm going to get some good tomatoes on there. There's already some set on the bottom there. That's an early girl, and that's the other early girl. It's twin sister. And that's the one I put the HGO product on, and that's the one that didn't get any HGO product. What a difference, huh? And then same thing here. That's a Mazzano, and that one's got HGO on it, and you can see the tomatoes already set on there, and that one didn't. So those are sisters also, and one treated, one not. So that stuff really does work. Grapevine looking healthy. I tell you again, like I said, this is lettuce is getting ready to go to seed, but then it'll become more. I'll let some of the seeds drop, and then I'll toss that thing into the hens, and they'll have fun with it. This corn down here is not as healthy and strong, and I think what's going on here is that the soil here isn't as deep as it is up there. So I'm going to have to add more soil to this before I plant next year. And I've got some compost over there on my trailer all ready to come in here and top this area off. So I'll get that going. All right, over here to the avocado tree. And Natasha, how's yours doing? Mine's happy. All right, coming over to the other side here. This soil, I got a couple of carrots that are sprouting up on it, but this soil I think really needs to be treated and mixed with some fresh compost, because I think that one's pretty much dead. That was soil from a couple of years ago, and I just put it in there to fill this up, but I should have mixed it more with some of the new Kellogg's. Potatoes are getting ready to start to wilt a little bit when the heat comes, and then it'll be time to harvest some potatoes out of here. And I've got some buds that have dropped off of the flowers on down into the soil, so those will grow into new potatoes too. It looks like I got a fresh plant growing up down underneath there. This cucumber is trying to make its way up the pole. I'll get them wrapped around there. And my tree's doing just fine. Still no pumpkins sprouting out. I think I might miss the pumpkin season this year. All right, my tomatoes down in here are looking happy. So they're coming up pretty good, and everything else here is same as it was last time we looked at it. So I'm going to have to get this sorted out in here and cleaned out and get some fresh plants in here. I'm going to go for my mid-season crops, so we'll go into these buckets because this is a self-watering gutter garden. And I was asked why I didn't do that over here. Well, I had all of the fittings for this one because I had done an experiment when I lived down in Orange County, and I had all of the parts already cut for it. So I put it together so that I would use those. But to buy all the parts to turn this into a self-watering garden would just be ridiculously expensive. I could buy fruit and vegetables for less than that. And of course the trees, they're not going to work well in a self-watering gutter garden, but everything else could have gone in there. It's working fine as it is. I got the misting sprinkler heads up here that are 5-foot diameter, and those work really good. They cover it from board to board, and even a little extra goes over to the sides. And if the breeze is blowing, even the side plants get watered because of the extra moisture in the air. And that's good, because once it starts getting hot and dry out here, I'm going to need that extra moisture in the air to keep these plants happy. All right, so I'm getting ready to reach that point where I'm going to be calling for a water run, but I've decided I'm going to go get me one more of these 250-gallon totes and load that in. I might put it right on this corner here, and I think I can steal one more row off of my compost pile over there, and I can make one addition here to put one more tank right here on the corner. And this will be a staging tank where I can drain water down from the rain barrels into that tank, and then just water transfer or pump it over into the other two. Those two will equalize as you fill one. They're tied with a manifold, so they'll equalize as they go up. All right. As you can see, the wind blew some buckets down there into my gray water pit. And my solar panels got washed for free. Didn't have to worry about scrubbing those things down. And I did a pretty good job of anchoring things, although I do have one bucket way down there in the field. I'm going to have to walk down and get that. Other than that, I anchored everything so that I wouldn't have to go chasing it all. But hey, a couple of things got free. And boy, was it gusting. I tried to get out the door, and this sand catcher rug, I call, actually had flipped over and bundled up, and I had to force the door open over the top of it to get out. All right. Next, I had a question. What is the Tru-Blu that I talked about for the sealant on the barrels when I put the fittings in? Okay, so this is a male threaded 1/2-inch hose bib, and I drilled and tapped with a pipe tap. I tapped the plastic. This plastic's about 1/4 inch thick, so it's pretty hefty. So I tapped it. And then I add this Tru-Blu sealant here, and it's a pipe thread sealant. And as you can see, it's fast dry, flexible set, and then it's lead free. It's for plastic or metal pipe. This stuff is really good. I mean, it's great. I did this one probably a month ago or more, and I can still put my fingernail mark in it. It dries almost like a plumber's putty, and it really gives you a nice tight seal. So I don't have to worry about any leaks or anything like that. This stuff I get at Home Depot and in the plumbing department, and it is a definite good product. It's by Rector Seal. They've always had a good name. So if you want to do that for yourself, that's the stuff to get. All right. I think that about covers everything. The sun is starting to come out now. As you can see, the clouds are all around us, even over there. And but the sun is coming out right over me, as it always does. And I think we'll probably be able to get out and do a few things now. I've been hunkered down so long. I can tell you every square inch of the inside of the cabin, and I can even tell you certain patterns on the wall. I did do some work in the kitchen. I'm not going to get into that. We'll do that on another video. I added some shelving in there because I was stuck in the cabin, had nothing else to do. I added some shelving and made more room in the kitchenette area. And I got my Mixmaster utensil in there, and I cleaned everything down. And now I can get ready for the summer and making my homemade pizzas. And I did years ago, I did show how I made a special fire brick rack that fits into my gas oven. And I have that inside here, so I can do pizzas in the oven inside if the winds are too bad. But in the future, I will be putting a pizza oven out here, a wood-burning pizza oven, kind of like a giant rock igloo. And on those nice days when I don't feel like cooking inside, I can get a nice hot wood fire going on that, and then do some outdoor pizza and beer and sit around the campfire. Sounds like fun to me. All right, well, that's about all for today. G-Bear reminding you, give me a like down there click on the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It is free. I've got a few new subscribers came in recently, and a few new questions that were asked, and I did get answers. So you can also check down below in the comments. Those of you using cell phones and holding it in the vertical position, you have to thumb all the way to the bottom of all of those videos, and then you'll find a comment section down there, and you can leave a comment, and you can read other comments that other people leave there, and you can reply to their comments if you'd like. Don't forget to share with your friends. And please subscribe. We're trying to build a subscriber list up here. I want to get some gift giveaways in the future, and to do that I need to get some sponsorship. So Let's go for it, people. G Bear signing off.